Marina Hale had always believed she understood the dark. As a night shift nurse, darkness was simply practical. Streets became quieter, hospitals hushed, and she walked home beneath stars that most people never bothered to look at. If anything, Marina found comfort in it. But not tonight. Tonight, the darkness felt like something alive. She finished her shift 2 hours late, nursing a headache that pulsed behind her eyes. Rain smeared the city lights into bleeding halos as she crossed the hospital parking lot. Coldwick's night buses usually passed every 30 minutes. She could practically recite the schedules by memory. Except tonight, something had changed. The digital sign that normally showed times was blank, just a black void where numbers should be glowing. She frowned. There should have been something running around 1:15 a.m. Instead, there was silence. A car passed, windows fogged, no headlights. It felt like watching a ghost drift by. Her phone had 8% battery, not enough for rideshares without risking dying mid-trip. She tightened her coat, stepping beneath the rusted shelter. That's when she noticed the bus coming. Except she never heard it arrive. It was simply, suddenly there. Lights on, engine running, but no approach, no sound of wheels rolling over wet streets. It stood where there had been nothing a blink earlier. And on the front display, there was no number, just a black rectangle. Marina told herself maybe the LED panel was just broken. That happened all the time, right? She stepped inside. The moment she crossed the threshold, the air felt different, colder, stiller. The lights inside flickered like old fluorescent bulbs deep in a basement. There were 3 other passengers. She noticed them immediately because they weren't moving, not reading, not sleeping, just sitting, completely still. Their heads slightly bowed, hands folded perfectly in their laps as if posed that way. Marina hesitated. But exhaustion beat suspicion. She found a seat near the middle. The bus lurched forward before she could even settle. She waited for the driver to call out the stops. Coldwick drivers were trained to. But nothing. Just the hum of an engine that didn't sound like an engine at all. It was more like distant wind scraping across abandoned hallways. After 10 minutes, Marina realized the bus wasn't following the normal route. Instead of heading toward the residential areas, it veered left toward industrial zones and fenced construction sites. Her phone still had a little battery. She opened maps, expecting GPS. No service. Not even searching. Just no network in red text, which she'd never seen before. A chill passed along her spine. She leaned forward. Driver? I think this bus? Her voice caught in her throat when she saw the driver's silhouette reflected in the wide rear mirror. He wasn't looking forward. He was looking directly into the mirror, directly at her. His head hadn't turned, just his eyes. Large, dark, unblinking. She sank back into her seat. The passengers suddenly looked different. She could swear their heads had turned a fraction toward her, though she hadn't seen them move. Her breath grew shallow. She opened her camera, intending to take a picture, not for proof, but because something inside her needed confirmation that her senses were real. But the camera preview was black. No image, no light, just black. Like the phone couldn't see inside the bus at all. She tried the flashlight. Dead. Her battery, 5%. She cursed under her breath. The bus slowed, then stopped. In the middle of nowhere. No buildings, no sidewalks, just fog, thick and swirling. The doors opened with a hiss. Marina felt her heart pound wildly. Why stop here? Who would get on? Something moved outside. Shadowy figures deeper in the fog, drifting rather than walking. Marina didn't dare stand. The driver spoke, but not with his mouth. The voice came through the bus speakers, distorted, low, like a recording played backward. No one exits until another enters. Marina froze. The still passengers suddenly lifted their heads, slowly, in eerie unison. She gasped. Their faces were pale, sunken, skin almost gray, eyes completely black, as if pupils had swallowed the whites. Their lips parted, but they didn't breathe. Marina pushed herself into the aisle. She didn't care about politeness anymore. "Let me out! Let me off!" The driver's body didn't react, only his voice through the speakers. "One always gets off." The passengers turned fully toward her, their jaws unhinged slightly, like something inside was about to come out. "And one always takes the seat." Marina ran toward the doors. The moment she crossed the middle of the bus, something grabbed her ankle, cold, thin fingers curling around her like metal clamps. She screamed, kicking. One of the passengers had lunged silently, face expressionless, eyes completely hollow. His arms stretched unnaturally long, joints bending wrong, like bones rearranged inside him. Marina fell, slamming against the metal steps. Her phone flew from her pocket, screen cracking. The driver's voice whispered behind her, "Your stop has come." She grabbed the handrail, pulling herself forward, trying to escape the grasp on her ankle. Her fingers slipped, but she forced herself upward. The fog outside thickened, swirling into shapes, faces pressing against the glass of reality, mouths open in silent terror, as if screaming without sound. She crawled out onto cold pavement, if it was pavement at all. Because it wasn't a road. It was something else, soft, like soil, soaked with something darker than mud. She didn't want to understand it. She just ran. But the fog moved with her, following, circling like a predator examining prey. Her phone's cracked screen glowed faintly. 3% battery. She tapped the flashlight. For a second, just 1 second, it flickered to life, enough to illuminate her surroundings. She regretted it instantly. The ground was covered in shoe prints, hundreds, maybe thousands, all leading toward where she was now, none returning. She turned toward the bus and saw something new inside. One passenger seat was suddenly empty, the seat she had been sitting in, because she hadn't been alone. Something had been beside her all along, unseen, waiting for her to move. She heard footsteps behind her, wet, dragging footsteps, slow and heavy. She forced herself forward, but the fog thickened, forming a wall, pushing her back toward the bus, toward the open doors, toward the empty seat. "No," she whispered, backing away. "No, no, please." Her phone battery hit 1% and died. Darkness swallowed her. She was alone. Something moved in the fog. Multiple things. She heard breathing, but not human breathing, more like wind being sucked through stone chambers. A whisper curled around her ear. "Return." Hands gripped her shoulders, cold and sharp, pushing her back, guiding her, forcing her toward the bus. She tried to fight, tried to scream, but her voice dissolved, swallowed by the fog itself. When she stepped back inside, something made her sit. Her body felt heavy, stone-like, no longer her own. Her muscles froze, her vision blurred, her skin paled, her lips dried, cracking, sinking into her face. Her eyes, she could feel them darkening, hollowing. She wasn't Marina anymore. She became still, silent, waiting. Her mind screamed beneath endless blackness, but her body remained motionless, a prisoner inside something that was no longer human. The doors shut. Fog parted. The bus moved on. Moments later, it stopped at a brightly lit street. A young man boarded. He glanced at Marina, never noticing her hollow, lifeless eyes. He sat a few seats ahead. Marina watched him with dead sockets, trapped in silence, begging for someone, anyone, to see her. But no one ever does.